What's up, guys? Coach Keith here with your locked and loaded workout for Monday, April 6th. For a warm-up, we're going to be starting with 3 rounds, 10 alternating lunges with a twist, 10 prone blackburns, and then 6 3-pause air squats. So going through those movements, that lunge with the twist, you're just going to lunge, step forward, knee's going to drop to the floor, keeping the weight through the knee and the front heel. We're going to rotate each way and then drive through the front heel to stand back up. Then alternate, hit the other leg, rotate each side, drive up to stand. Doing 10 reps, 5 on each leg as we alternate. Okay. Then for our 10 blackburns, we're going to be flat on the floor with the facing the ground, but lifting the head and chest, coming to that overhead position, then with straight arms coming back and around, flipping the palms up, and hopefully finishing on that low back, right? So if we look from the side, again, reaching to that overhead position as best I can, coming out to the side, and then bringing the hands to the low back, and then palms up. As I come around, I rotate, palms forward, etc. For 10 reps there, okay? And then your 6 3-pause air squats. You're going to pause for a second, halfway down in the bottom, and halfway up in your squat. So, just like any other regular air squat, weight through the heels and midfoot, chest is up as best as you can, knees are tracking the toes. I'm going to extend my hips back, 1 second, all the way down, 1, halfway up, 1, and then stand, that's 1 rep. So again, halfway down, pause, all the way down, pause, halfway up, pause, and then all the way up, pause. 6 reps of that will work through 3 rounds of that whole thing, all right? Then for our strength, we've got goblet pause lunges with a front foot elevation if you have the option to do so, all right? So if you have a step you can use, I've stacked some books I'm gonna end up using. Whatever you have, just make sure it's stable, that it can hold your body weight as you push through it. If you have to go on the flat floor, that's totally fine as well, okay? So we'll be in our goblet position. We're looking at 8 to 12 reps on each side. So I'll do 8 to 12 on one leg, then 8 to 12 on the other. That'll equal 1 set. So I'm going to start with my left leg. My left leg will be on my implement. I'm going to step back, drive up through that front heel to stand. That's 1. Dropping back. My knee is touching the ground. I've got a 90-degree angle approximately at my hips and my knee. I'm driving again through the front of that foot to the mid-foot to stand up. Once I do my full set, 8 to 12 reps on this side, I'll do 8 to 12 on the other. That's 1 set. You guys are doing 4 sets of that on each leg today. So a good amount of lunge work and a little bit extra depth if you have the ability to elevate. 1 to 3 inches is probably good, all right? Then moving to our conditioning piece, mixing up a little bit today, we've got a 20-minute for quality piece. We'll have a little bit more high intensity tomorrow on Tuesday. So again, for 20 minutes, starting with 6 to 12 upright rows. So this is similar to our one-arm high pull, except we'll be using both arms, right? So if you've got a dumbbell, you can either hold the actual dumbbell itself, pull the elbows up and back, finishing at your chin, and lowering down, or you can hold both hands on the head of the dumbbell, pull up. We just want to make sure we're not ending up into an internally rotated position or ending up with those elbows being under the weight. We want to stay up above the weight, pull up, and then lower down. If you have a kettlebell, you'll probably just have both hands wrapped around the handle and be pulling up like so, okay? 6 to 12 reps on that, depending on how heavy that is for you. You might use one of your household objects instead. Just make sure those elbows are staying above the weight, and we're thinking about packing those shoulders back and down as we pull up instead of letting them roll in and forward, okay? That's what we want to avoid. Then we've got, again, 6 to 12 reps on each side, single arm front squats with a pause in the bottom. So if I have a dumbbell, I'm going to get into that front rack position, back of the dumbbell on the shoulder, elbows nice and high forward. Okay, and then I'm hitting my squat pattern. 1 second, drive up, reset. 1 second, drive up. Okay, we'll do 6 to 12 reps on that. Again, depending on what your weight is, that's going to change the rep scheme you're going to do. Lighter weight, more reps. Heavier weight, less reps. Okay, and make sure you're getting that full 1 second pause in the bottom. Then we have 4 to 8 on each side, Powell raises. So if you're working from the floor, you'll be in kind of a modified side plank where your elbow's on the ground, hips are on the ground. Just trying to keep nice and straight and tall here so we have enough room. Pull that shoulder blade back and down again. Elbow stays locked. Coming up just so that I'm parallel to my torso, right? Not going behind my body, but straight up out of my shoulder, and then controlling back down again. This elbow should stay straight throughout, right? And this is nice, slow, and controlled. And again, might be a situation where you need to use a little bit lighter of a weight. Find a household object that makes sense, right? Make sure we're not swinging as we rotate. This is all coming from that shoulder blade locked down, squeezing the scapula back, and then controlling that negative. 4 to 8 reps on each side, depending on your weight, all right? And finally, we've got 1 minute in a plank. You can do 1 minute straight on both forearms, or 30 seconds on one side, 30 on the other. If you're in that forearm plank, your forearms will be parallel. Okay, we're keeping that nice flat back, squeezing the belly, squeezing the butt, and making sure we breathe normally through that. If a minute is too long, accumulate a minute. Do 30, take a rest, do 30. Okay, that might make more sense. And to challenge yourself a little bit more, you can go single arm. So I'll just have one forearm on, a little bit more of a diagonal, and I'm going to have to fight to make sure that my hips aren't rotating. So it's going to be really easy for this opposite hip to want to roll up. Make sure we're staying flat. If you can't hold that for the 30, then just kind of use that double forearm plank instead. All right, guys, have fun with this. We'll see you again